them come. This is their fate.
All right. Birdman hands. All right. Welcome back to the House of Wolves podcast. I am your host, Deontay. Here are my near and dear friends, Jalen and Josh. Today we got some stuff to talk about per usual. Dead Island is finally coming to Steam, which I was waiting on for a very long time. So I'm going to be picking that up hopefully in April. We got some other stuff around Apex Legends. We had the Final Fantasy demo. We could finally play Rebirth and test out all that greatness. Little updates on Xbox and whether or not they're going to be giving all their games away and much, much more. So stay tuned as we go through a ton of topics per usual. But before we get started, Jalen, Josh, tell the people how you been, what you've been up to, what you've been doing, how's life going, what you've been playing, and how the week been. You know, it's Valentine's Day. That's all I'm saying. It's Valentine's Day coming up here soon. Actually, this drop on Valentine's Day, which is kind of crazy. But yeah.
So
what y'all been up to?
Yep, Valentine's Day here in Japan. In Japan, it's a little different where women are supposed to give men like gifts like chocolate or cookies, and then in a couple weeks it's another holiday called White Day in which men give women the gifts. Unfortunately for me, my significant other is used to the American way, so I gotta spend all my money on Valentine's Day and probably White Day, and so she getting gifts. But otherwise, it's actually starting to get a little bit warmer over here. In which I was looking at the news today, and I saw like I think in New York they got like a bunch of snow. So
no, they're going to get something crazy. They said it's going to be bad. I heard anyway.
Yeah. So we haven't got no snow, and it's looking like it's starting to warm up. Because it's almost cherry blossom season. I think like next month the sakura trees are gonna start blooming, and they can't stand the cold. So winter is pretty much over for us unless some change. Otherwise, I've been, just busy working, take care of the family, trying to go out, take the little one to socialize with other kids at like little playgrounds or like family centers. And not too many games played, but I've been trying to actually, I guess, get a hold of like my backlog because I made a spreadsheet.
Yeah,
and I got like 40 games. I got like 40 games that I want to play.
Oh,
like,
wow.
These not even the games that I own and I don't and have any interest in. I got 40 games that I want to play. And so I just organized them like which ones are the shortest, which ones the longest, and which ones I actually think I can play. So I'm start hitting those off. Some of them are pretty short. Like I wanted to finish the Final Fantasy VII DLC that came out.
Integrate.
Yeah, and that's only like 5 hours. So I'm been pushing through that this week. I should probably finish that soon and move on to something else.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm not gonna finish everything, but with so many games coming out, it's like each month I'm gonna add like 2 or 3 new games to the list, and I'm never gonna play everything. So I at least want to like organize and make sure I don't forget about something that actually was
wanted to play.
In.
Yeah, I feel like that's that. I'm in that same boat, and I don't really. I'm so glad that boat exists now for me. It used to be where, I would still be trying to buy new stuff, but right now I'm just not. I'm buying all the games that I missed out on, and then there's like a very few far in between where I would buy new day one, and that one is going to be Final Fantasy VII. I think we at a point now where there's been so many good games this generation that we are in a space now where people aren't really starving for anything. They don't really need more games, and that's great because but it's also bad for people that's really trying to put out new new stuff, new IPs, new people to try, because nobody's really giving anything a shot right now because simply enough, it's too costly, and it's just not necessary because we just have so many, great games that are currently on sale or getting, in that backlog category. So it's like, I don't think you beat Alan Wake 2 yet. I don't think you can touch that. It's like so many great, really, 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 really good games that I haven't even touched. That it's to the point where I'm like, I'm so good on behind the game. Like, and I got Game Pass. I'm playing Persona 3. It's been my favorite. Um, Remembering just how those games work again, just been my favorite. It's been fun again. So I'm just
Yeah,
liking the games that I got and the stuff that I'm gonna play, and it's just so much. So yeah, sorry to take your
yeah. And
time. Go ahead.
oh no, no, I agree with all those points. And the second part that I didn't realize, like why I haven't been finishing so many games, is that I have at least 8 like online games that I'm always juggling.
Yeah.
So that's a big chunk of time as well, because like last season I was trying to finish the Call of Duty Battle Pass and I spent so much time playing it. And it's like if I didn't play this so much, I probably could have beat a game or two instead of playing this so much. So um luckily this season, like the online games don't look bad. Like Call of Duty is still, I still enjoy it. Overwatch, I still enjoy it. Um and we probably gonna try a little bit of Apex, but I'm a just not play those games as much. Like I
Hmm.
looked at all the battle passes that came out today. I don't think I'm gonna get any battle pass or anything. So I'm just play them if I'm interested. And if I'm not, then I'm not gonna put that much time into online games, because the problem is they're forever games. They're gonna keep getting updated, and
Yeah.
it's just it's fun, but it's a time sink. So uh, I'm gonna take a break on some of those and actually play some other games.
Yeah. That's a good. It's just you make choices really. But what about you, Jalen? What you going? What you got going on? What you up to? How your Valentine's looking? You spending your monies? You spending that money? No, man.
Man. Yeah, no, I ain't spending no coins. No, but
No coins.
no, I ain't been up to nothing, man. I had went to Dallas and got to hang out with my cousins and stuff like that. One of my cousins 19 years, and
Hmm.
then my other cousin, he lives in San Diego. I ain't seen him in like 5 years. So I had a really good time. And we had went to a Mavericks game. Um his OKC versus the Mavericks. So we was down there. We had did that, and then got to link up with my cousins. Got to link up with my other cousins, and we all had like a blast and stuff like that. So it was a smooth weekend. Um, I caught the Super Bowl. I'm not the biggest football fan and stuff like that, but I do see the appeal behind it. I'm just not like the biggest
Yeah.
football fan. Um, so because it's like a different pace than basketball. Basketball game runs, football a little bit more strategic. Seem like. Um, but other than that, games and stuff I've been playing. This last week was a little kind of like busy for me or whatever. I honestly ain't even really. I probably played like 30 minutes of the Final Fantasy, but I've been playing Persona 3 still. So, I think I had beat the or not the last boss. I had beat a boss, like one of the bigger
uh,
bosses.
Subway Boss.
Yeah, but I think I did that before or after the podcast. So I
Hmm.
mean, that's probably like a update because I was grinding that out like a couple of days, and or not a couple of days ago. I was playing for hours on end. That's the first time I sat there and played the game for hours, like by myself or whatever. So,
Hmm.
um, like Deontay said, I mean, I like the appeal of that game and stuff like that. It's cool. Still like Persona 5 a little more, but not just like I ain't even. That's not even. I ain't trying to compare it, but yeah. Other than that,
Hey
I
man,
mean,
that's
I'm
your
just
truth.
waiting for.
Live your truth, man.
I mean, I ain't gave that game a full shot, so I can't really say.
Mm.
I will say I liked it. I don't know when this was implemented, but in Persona 5, they had the social links. When you do those, they give you different things, like if for battles
Yeah,
or make these things. But it seemed like the social links on Persona 3 helps with the EXP or something like that. And if you get to level 10, I think they give you like a persona or
A
something. Is that
special
right, Josh?
persona, correct?
yeah. They unlock the like persona that you can get are locked behind their progression. So the higher the magician one is, you can make a magician persona later.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I just let you make the persona, like they don't just grant it to you, or they go into the compendium.
I think they go into the
Um,
the one
I
the
think it's in
special.
the list, but you have to have the personas to make it.
Yeah,
Like
so
most
it's
of
the
the time, once you
special.
register 'em in the compendium, you can just like bring them
Buy
out
him again.
and then use it. Yeah,
Uh,
So, but you
but you
do
oh,
have to
have to
bring.
have the
Yeah,
personas to create said persona, the special
yeah.
one. Yeah.
okay, gotcha. Okay,
So
I didn't know how it worked entirely.
I like that one. I like Persona 3 more because it's. I think I like their fusion system more because it's simpler than I thought from Persona 5 to me. To me, it just feels simpler. Like I understand it a lot better. So,
It's, I feel like it's the same one.
um, I don't think
But
so.
they had the infusion thing too, though. You can infuse a persona. So if you want an ability off a persona, but you don't want to get rid of the one you got, you can put them in a thing, and then I think it's random that you get one of their abilities or something. I forgot how they do it because I remember I used to save before doing it, but or you get to choose an ability from that persona. It's something like that. So
Well, this
um
one is kind of like. I mean, there's only three things you can do. You can fuse them. You can do the search, and you can do like the create the special fusion. But I just felt like, and maybe I'm just thinking of it differently, but I feel like this one's more straightforward, and like I was able to grasp it a lot faster than I was the first one. Maybe that's because that's just my first Persona game, and now I'm playing my second one. Well, that was my second Persona game, and now I'm playing my third one, and maybe I just understand it better. But for some reason, I feel like Persona 3 is just a little bit simpler. But I mean, I gotta go do some research to kind of figure out why, if that is even the case, or if it's not, then I'm just wrong. But it just feels simpler to me.
yeah, I remember Persona they had the little triple fusion. I'm pretty sure they had the triple fusion. They had the little double fusion, and then they had
Hmm.
the you can go search which fusion you want,
Yeah,
and
by
then it
fusion
tell you
search.
what
Yeah.
personas you can. I remember Fi having that. Then I liked it the fusion because like I was using like Izanagi like Picro through most of the game, and I kept putting different abilities on him. I'm like, you need cross slash, you need. I think they only gave him like Zeo or something like the level 1 or 2. I think it's moderate damage, lightning magic, and I was like, well, I need level 3 or like the heavy damage one. So I need to figure out which persona got that. I'm gonna throw it on Izanagi so I can keep him and not switch it up or whatever. So I
Mm.
remember going through and doing some of that stuff. So but I know we got to get things rolling and stuff like that. So, but I'm gonna go through and try to beat this Final Fantasy demo and stuff because I did see that you don't have to play that part of the game if you beat it. So, and they give you something too. So
Little
I'm pretty okay
motivation,
with
but
that.
definitely try it out. Yeah. So
Yeah. So
for me, I've been playing a lot of Persona as usual as well. Pretty far in that, not far, but what's 14 hours to a 80-hour game.
Mm-mm.
So
and what day you on?
I don't remember, but I'm pretty far. Like I said, I already beat the first one, and I'm at the second one's like, where you got to go there and they say, hey, you can't go any further. You gotta wait for a new moon. So, um, I'm on that part.
Yeah,
So
and
I'm,
you're
I'm
like,
waiting. Yeah, I'm waiting for the new moon. I already did my exams. I'm just waiting on the new moon so I can. The boy told me he's gonna come in like a week, so the boy came again, mystery boy. So I'm close to like the second big fight. So but yeah, I'm just going through the days now. Uh, what else? What else? What else? Um, I try to play Spec Ops the line a little bit. I had to cut it off because the kids got a little crazy, so it wasn't really that long. But I turned it on. It still runs well. That game got delisted over a couple of weeks ago from Steam and Xbox, and so I
Are you
purchased
playing
it,
it?
and I was finally gonna try to give it a shot because I know it's like a 6 hour, 7 hour game, and I wanted to see what the story is about because people really love the story of it.
I wanted to
So
play that game.
yeah, they got delisted.
you can
Unfortunately,
still
so you
like
could buy it on like
do the backwards compatibility on Xbox, right?
yeah, if you own the game, but you cannot buy it outright from the store anymore. So you got to go get the game physically in order to play it,
Yeah.
or you can get it from a third party seller for Steam.
Hmm.
I think they still have it up. So That's the only ways you can like buy it right now, unless you do some not the Lord's work, but the other work. So, but anywho, what else? What else? What else? I ain't did nothing else. I mean, I've been hanging out, with kids, chilling, still using my Steam Deck OLED, still loving it. It's the best thing since sliced bread. It gets me through my Persona game, and it's very simple to use, and I can sleep my entire console, so it's been dedicated to Persona for the last few weeks until we played that they're very fancy Skull and Bones that Josh and I loved. By the way, Josh truly is the pirate's life for him now. But we're gonna talk about that a little bit later. But yeah, I've been doing that, and I played a little bit of the Final Fantasy VII Rebirth demo to get a part of that. But so we want to get some like early impressions of that. So that's probably what I'm going to roll into now. It's really just talking through Final Fantasy. Jalen, first impressions when you turned it on. You told me you had to do something because of certain things, FPS wise. What's your impressions of the presentation of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, the demo at least when you first turned it on? Did it feel like the production value was there?
I feel like for the most part, but I feel like I done got away from some of them games and stuff like that. I was just looking like, all right. But then when I had switched, I was like, all right, first things first, bro. Like, don't fret, bro. Check these graphical settings and make sure you can run it at 60. So I had to switch it from what is it, like graphics to performance mode or something like that.
Yeah, correct.
So yeah, so I mean the game been running smooth and things like that. I think it's cool. I don't remember what the first one looked like entirely. Um,
Yeah.
I feel like it ran decent. I mean, I remember really enjoying playing the game and stuff like that. So I'm just curious to see, how this adventure gonna pan out. I don't know if my memory correct or whatever, but even just like how they had the story because I think it was Zach. I think Cloud think he's Zach or something like that. But um, I don't remember the story entirely because I ain't played Crisis Core in like 15 years. So
Yeah.
but we'll see how it is though. I think it's cool. So
Okay.
the music and everything good. The graphics, the way it looked, the ambiance. I think they did a real good job on this game thus far. So we're gonna see how it pan out.
Oh, for sure. So yeah, I feel the same way in regards to I kept the 30 FPS on. I'm okay with that. I sit back on my larger screens and I don't really care for like for those types of games where I know it's not like twitchy stuff like no Devil May Cry or no Call of Duty. I don't really care playing at 30. I really used to be like bothered by it, but it's like my eyes simply got adjusted to not seeing so many freaking I don't know, anti-aliasing effects or like their temporal the I can't even think of it, but where they utilize a lower resolution and upscale it. The upscalers, my eyes got used to not using them on my PC. So when I play those games, I'm like, bro, I cannot take all this jittering around the person and like this this broken up effect that's around on the background because the person is moving too fast or whatever. So it just breaks up the image for me. So I don't like the 60 FPS mode honestly in this, and I didn't like it in Final Fantasy 16 either. So I used 30 FPS mode. So I'm going to use 30 FPS mode in this one simply because of those reasons. But it does still present well, in my opinion, from what it looks like. And the performance mode isn't bad. I just know what a really good one looks like, and I know what that one looks like. Like I know Horizon Forbidden West has a really good 60 FPS balance mode, but that one it's like just a little bit it's a little too muddy for me. But overall, I think the presentation, the cutscenes, the music, probably one of the hardest intros I've seen in the demo in a while. I was like, okay, oh they out here they was cooking with some grease with that little intro. But yeah, I mean overall, I really, I think from just a little amount of time I played it, the textures for the overworld or basically the background, I know how it used to look when you were inside the city, it was like literally a JPEG. It was terrible on a PS4, but on this, they kind of, it's obviously open world now. You can go interact with this stuff. They had to make it better, and it does look better, especially when you're walking around and in these larger spaces. So they did a really good job of optimization to me, for what they're doing and the texture work and all that good jazz. I think they did a good job there. It's really just now selling the story, and I think they're gonna do a really good job with that too. And they got a bunch of crazy mini games. I was playing the piano. It's like they put stuff in and have fun. I mean, obviously you got this big old stupid dumb sword on your back, and it's just not the most realistic thing to be carrying around. But they just make the game fun, and it's just like entertaining, and it's within the realm of their world that this will all make sense. So, but yeah, I really like it. I definitely think it's still gonna be the game of the year. But it is unfortunate that they are doing it in the way they are doing it. I mean, all jokes aside, I think that the exclusivity stuff of it is kind of stupid at this point. Especially when they could just release it on PC as well alongside it. I think they're going to sell less because of it. They're might going to sell well, but it's not going to sell as much as they possibly could. And it really just doesn't feel like it's meant to be exclusive to this console. It's really like I don't know. This is like one of the last ones where I feel like this is like a holdout that Sony is not letting go. But maybe Microsoft bought them too. Who knows? It's just a lot of weirdness there. And it's fine for them to have that exclusivity. I don't think we got a better product for it, to be honest. I mean, optimization wise, it still looks great, but I think that they still do that when they launch together. But for me, I'm just excited to play it. So yeah, that is my thoughts on Final Fantasy VII Rebirth Demo. Anything to add, Josh? I know on your end you're still contemplating, or I don't know if you are contemplating or not, but on your end.
No, I think the from what I've seen of the demo, it looks good. I haven't played it yet, but what I'll say is that they've been putting a lot of information out about the game as far as like at the state of play, and a lot of the trailers were like super spoilery. I mean, obviously, if you don't know what was in the trailer, like in the game originally, then it don't matter. But it's just interesting that they're putting out so much information about the game, and which I don't know if they need to, because like people are gonna buy it, regardless. But yeah, it looks good. Like I said, Final Fantasy is the exclusive series that I'm interested in. So if it's any point to get a PS5, it would be like to play Final Fantasy. It's just yeah, the weird exclusivity where it's going to come out in PC maybe this year or something like that. It's weird because like, okay, I want to get it, but then am I going to have to buy it again to play it on a PC, which is going to be the better experience, or is it better to just wait? So
Yeah,
it's still up in the air. It's just, do I have enough games to justify that $500? And right
price.
now I don't know. Yeah.
That makes sense. So yeah, it's just more so a lot of that. So now that I've always had the inkling that, well, the whole point of me buying back my Xbox was simply because I knew that these dudes don't optimize their games, and the next game we're gonna talk about, still from PlayStation, is surely enough is having issues, but it's not as bad as people are making it out to be. But it is one of those situations where sometimes it's better to kind of, if you're gonna buy these day one games anyway, is for them to be done on these consoles. I don't, and when I say that, my last point, I'm kind of like contradicting myself. And I said that my last point was that I don't think the optimization is necessary, or the exclusivity is necessary for better optimization. I still don't think that way, because I think the consoles themselves are, in this space where they're a specific type of PC. So there's nothing that is going to change about this, so they can optimize properly to this configuration in the best way possible, just like you can with the Steam Deck. That's why it's so much useful or more fun to play on the Steam Deck than it is to play on a PC, because there's just so much that they take out the way, simply because the hardware is uniform across the board. So I don't think that exclusivity helps optimization. I think solidified configurations do, and that is what it is when you buy a console. So Helldivers 2 came out, and a lot of people were having issues with disconnections. It still runs a little choppy, but it's not as bad. But there's a lot of disconnections online, server wise. There was a lot of issues with performance. I know the Steam Deck that game runs like crap, but I'm pretty sure it's a heavy game. It's a lot of stuff going on all the time. A lot of things there. So I would expect that to happen. I am happy to report that I think the developers of Helldivers 2 have been doing a very good job of fixing the game. I feel like over the last week and a half, a lot of these concerns have been alleviated. I'm not sure about performance-wise, but I know that at least the disconnections, all the issues that people were complaining about, where it was literally sitting at mostly negative or mixed for a while on PC, Steam, it's now at a mostly positive. So I think they have been doing a really good job of staying on top of things, fixing things, and people are just starting to realize that the game has a lot more depth to it, and a lot more interesting components about it. And it's not just a over the top shooter. It's really got some legs to it. So it's really cool to see that. And I know you said you had a statistic, Josh, of how much they sold, but I don't remember what the statistic was, or how much it was.
Yeah,
but I know that they were like their
it was
best
just
launch.
coming up recently, like yesterday. Helldivers, I don't know, stats, hold up. That it was just breaking records. Right now it's a concurrent of 150,000 players
hmm
at once. So when it comes to the stats and stuff, I'm not like fully sure, but for a multiplayer game
hmm
from PlayStation Studios is for sure breaking their records of the most concurrent players. Like if they drop God of War, maybe they got like 100,000 players at one time, but Helldivers is seemingly to put up much higher numbers faster than any other
Yeah,
PlayStation game, and their all-time peak so far is just shy of 200,000. So that's really good for a launch of a online game, because
yeah,
most online games don't get that high, unless it's like PUBG.
yeah.
um, but yeah, like you said, I've been interested in Helldivers. Like that would be a game that I get on PC. It's only $40.
hmm
But with the performance issues and then like server issues and stuff, it might not be a good time to get it. And I don't know. I was looking at just playing it by myself, but it's a really, really online focused game. Like it's 4-player co-op, and
hmm
it's a lot of like teamwork, and it not necessarily that you have to do like the objectives uh together, but it's more like you have to think about what your team has and what they're doing. Kind of like if you're playing like Left 4 Dead, and I know that Jalen has no health pack,
hmm
and I'm his friend, so I know he has no health pack, so I'm gonna look out for him. I'm gonna give him items or be there when he goes down and stuff like that. Whereas if I'm playing with complete randoms, like a lot of times when you play with randoms, people just run out and do their own thing. And sometimes somebody might be helpful, but if you're not communicating, then it's a lot harder to do that. And so this game is really, you die easily. There are a lot of enemies,
It's
and
friendly
you gotta
fire.
communicate.
You can blow your
So
friends
yeah,
up
friendly
with
fire is on.
grenades.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
So
I think it'd be fun to play as like just a fun experience to see if how well we work together, because I think we haven't done that in a while. I mean, Overwatch is the Overwatch. I mean, we kind of play our roles, but to have a different like experience with
Yeah, we don't
friendly
play
fire.
friendly fire games. Last one we played was
Last time,
Rainbow
yeah.
Six.
Jalen was in
And I
that
know Deontay
bathroom
was
like, man, I
looking
know what
real
you're
fun.
thinking, man. Jalen said, I know what you're thinking, man. Please don't. I said, what you talking about? I said, hold on,
Hear me
you
out.
moving too different. You about to get blasted, though, man.
I'm like, hey, man, you ain't gotta shoot me, bro. I'm like, you pausing and looking at me way too long, bro. I'm on your team.
The fact that he
That
peeped
Rainbow
that
Six,
is
how you doing?
crazy. I be like, bro,
Yeah.
he was like, man, you stop and look at me. I'm about to cook that boy. Yeah. Anyways,
I already know it's
that's
coming.
our
You staring
bout
too
with
hard.
friendly fire.
Yeah,
But
so Helldivers looks like a lot of fun. So I might wait and see like what their content updates and stuff look like,
yeah,
and if it's worth it, I might jump in by myself because I think I can have fun, but it depends. Like the hard missions, can I actually do that with randoms, or if if y'all decide to get it too, like if we actually can coordinate and play it together,
yeah.
schedule
That's
wise. But
that's not even that's probably the hardest thing. It's not even like getting the game and but it's just like really coordinating time and it's
mhm.
starting to come more and more bleak for that. So, but we definitely gonna be playing Apex Legends. So you get ready. But yeah, it's just a different thing. Especially it's I could see I could see having fun in that game simply because of the friendly fire and the aspect of working together like that because they are relentless. They just keep coming. They don't stop. So
Yeah,
the engagement of constantly having something to do in a game and not having a lull time is going to help me engage the game better than I would when it's like plenty of lull time like a Apex where it's just like okay we just sitting around waiting on something to happen. So I'm hoping these new modes like I don't know I forget the name of the mode that just came out for Apex that breaks down that kind of trims down the fat of the game.
downtime. Yeah.
Yeah, so uh, that's what I'm looking for. So I think Helldivers would be a cool PVE experience versus having to fight somebody all the time. So yeah, I've been thinking about that, and that has been on my radar, looking to see if that's a deep or nice sale that happens later or sooner than later on that and giving it a shot. So, but again, we got the backlog, man. We it's plenty of time. It ain't going
Yep.
nowhere. That's what I'm happy about. Them finding success. Like I don't really care about none of that exclusive stuff. I really want them to find success. I want these smaller companies. I want these companies that are I say it's something smaller, but it's Sony. But it's like smaller devs that have put some time and effort into something. Like even with the Power Worlds thing, like I want to keep seeing that because it tells me that there people are getting back to just wanting to play fun games and not these overly
Mhm.
priced, over the top games that just don't really do anything to push the envelope of fun. It's just another thing that go through and just it's an experience versus a true game. Like a true game is not an experience. I think Uncharted is an experience. God of War to me is still an experience. Even though it's like a really really well polished experience, I think it's still I still fall in that category of experience for me. Final Fantasy, I think that's a game. I don't know. I don't know. That's how I categorize some of these things. Like Indiana Jones, I think that's going to be an experience. So even Hellblade. So it's just those types versus a true game that's going to have some real meat and potatoes in it. Um, so I'm glad they found success. I'm happy for them. I think they sold over 1 million copies already. That tells me that's going to have some legs to it, and it's going to have a community behind it. So in a later time, maybe 6 months from now, 5 months from now, we probably could give it a shot for a lesser price, but still have some fun with that game too. So
I'll say the one thing I saw about it that was like interesting is that in order to use your like abilities, like you want to, do a drone strike or something, you got to input
yeah,
the code commands on the controller,
yeah,
like, down, left, right, up. And that's just interesting because we play a bunch of games like Destiny and stuff like that where you just have your abilities on RB and you just do it. But
Yeah.
actually making so you got to memorize cheat codes makes it, like you said, this is fundamentally just a video game. Like this is,
Yeah.
we want you to have fun. We want you to like,
Be
not take it
engaged.
serious. Yeah,
Yeah.
just really have fun. Play it like a game. Die a couple times. Maybe you kill your friends by mistake, but you're just gonna have fun
Keep
playing
learning.
it. So
Yeah. I think
yeah.
that's what makes it so engaging for me. Like even watching the game is fun because I was watching some people play it. I was like, man, this sounds actually interesting. So
Mhm.
that's when you got some real fun on your hands versus you have to experience it for yourself to be fun. No, I don't even got to experience it myself. I can see that this is an experience of a game or this is a game fundamentally that's just fun. So yeah. But yeah, all happy for their success. Uh, you know, keep blowing up aliens. What else? What else? What else? What else? Um, oh shoot, I didn't even do my timestamps. I got to stay on top of my timestamps, people. So what's up next? Deadpool. Sheesh. Um, I watched the Super Bowl for one thing only. Usher Raymond. And
Mm.
it was a great experience for me. I'm not a big football fan. I'm sorry if y'all offended by that, but I'm just not. I never have been. But sports go sports. But I will say is that these commercials this year, they had some insane budgets. I'm talking about it was like celebrity after celebrity after celebrity. But I think Deadpool's trailer stole the show. In under 24 hours, this trailer has been viewed 365 million times. That is crapping all over GTA. It's beating out like the Avengers Endgame. I'm like, how? It's just Deadpool, but I think because of the Deadpool, Wolverine, Marvel, this character in himself is what's going to save that Marvel universe. And I think he even mentioned that. He said, "All right, we're about to say the whole Marvel universe." I think that's what he said in the trailer. That is insane. So I'm really happy that it's doing that. Uh I'm happy that it's doing that for real. Like that gives me hope that this is still something people want to watch and people want to enjoy. They just have to be original and they have to be creative. They don't. It's not about churning out the same old same old. This is so different from what Marvel would ever do, cussing wise, all the puns, all the breaking up the fourth wall, all that stuff is just new for them, and they're keeping it like we thought they would. It's Deadpool, but yeah, man, I'm I'm super excited. The trailer got me excited. I couldn't ask for a better teaser. I mean, you don't see Hugh Jackman at all yet, but he's there and his presence is felt obviously because they've been talking about it together for a while. But I just thought that it was cool. Yeah, I really got much else to say, but what are y'all thoughts on Deadpool saving the Marvel universe? Was y'all over it? Are y'all still over it? Do y'all think this matters?
I mean, I've been down with the Marvel universe, so I just
When
ain't
you
I ain't really
stop?
been liking it
When you
there.
stop?
Probably a little bit after Endgame. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
or let me see, Infinity War. Yeah, Endgame. I mean, I tried to tune in a little bit after that to see what they was doing, but it
Mm-hmm.
just didn't seem like it wasn't like a clear direction or anything, and they was just kind of riding their wave. So, um, I think that's kind of when I had turned it off. So I guess it's a good sign if that many people watch the Deadpool commercial and it's
Yeah.
on YouTube booming like that. So I mean, that's a good sign. So, and I think they in touch with the world to know that Marvel ain't probably been doing as good as it has. Of course, I don't know all their numbers and stuff like that, but from to say something like that, it kind of thought he would have been in tune with what's going on.
No, I think so. I think they are
And
very much so
yeah,
in tuned. And I think
and that's part of Deadpool character too. So
yeah, I think them even having the money, I think this is gonna be like their big, you know, um, this is kind of like their end game for this year. I think this is the biggest release that they're gonna have for and that's why they treated it that way. And it's in July, so it's the reason why they got the spot, you know. So, but yeah, I mean, I don't think there's anything else that could top Deadpool for Marvel this year. So I think that's why they kind of did it this way, and I think they kind of realized that based off of previous stuff. Because I'm talking this thing beat out Lord of the Rings of Power. This thing beat out Avengers Endgame. This beat out the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer. So it's like he's up there now as like one of the most beloved characters. And like I said, it's simply because he executed on the Deadpool 1 and 2 so well. So I don't think that this is well deserved, and I'm happy to see it. I'm not the biggest, cameo, know what's happening type situation, like little small stuff. I'm just here to enjoy a great experience. I think he taps into both enough that, I mean, it's worth it. So, yeah, but what's your thoughts, Josh?
Yeah. For a while, I still been following Marvel regularly, and there's still some stuff that I like that's still really good that came out, and a lot of stuff that's just like mediocre and you can skip it. And one of the biggest problems is that they used up all of their not I don't want to say A-list characters because some characters are not A-list characters like Star-Lord. Nobody really knows who Star-Lord is,
Yeah,
but the actors and the characters that people got used to in the movies, they used them all up, and then they kind of, they had a good finale with Endgame, and like a lot of those characters are gone, and so now they've been using the characters that people don't have a connection to or don't really care about, or their stories are not, maybe they're not that interesting, or if you didn't write the story interesting. So there's been a lot of problems, but them saying that they're going to focus on like smaller, not necessarily smaller projects, but less projects. So what's going to come out, we're going to spend more time on each one, and so hopefully the quality overall is better. But for as Deadpool, it also has the added factor where these are older characters from Fox. I mean,
yeah,
and they're still Marvel, but they're coming from other franchises that people liked. Like Deadpool 1 and 2 were fun, goofy, and completely different than anything that came out. And then second, you have Hugh Jackman, Wolverine, who's been doing this for 20 years and people love him. So bringing those two together is a recipe for success. And I think it will, yeah, it can breathe a good breath of fresh air into the Marvel universe. What's gonna happen after? I don't know, because the trailer is all about like the TVA and Loki stuffs, and so like
yeah,
time, like different dimensions and stuff like that. Uh, I think it will be fun, and I think Deadpool is a good character to make that transition. I don't think he's a good character to like keep coming back because he's one of those characters that is kind of a issue where it's like you
with
can't put Deadpool
timelines.
in a serious movie.
Yeah,
Like you can't put Deadpool in Infinity War and he's fighting Thanos and it actually matter. Like if he's fighting Thanos, he has to be like a joke. Like
yeah,
so he's a good like transition to make fun of Marvel when they're at their bad time. I don't know how he's gonna be in the futures, but at least bringing the franchises together, the X-Men and stuff like that, it will have the opportunity to get people excited again for characters that they know and love. That way you don't have to spend time with um, you know, smaller characters that nobody care about.
yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, like I said, I wanted to keep them short and sweet. I appreciate them like doing this and providing like a big large long teaser for this. So I'm excited. Probably definitely one of the best Super Bowl trailers that was released, not commercial, but obviously trailer. Um,
Yeah, a lot of times it's teasers at the Super Bowl, but it was a teaser, but you get a
yeah.
good sense of like what it's about.
Oh yeah, 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 for sure. I don't think they ran the whole 2 minute and 24 seconds during the Super Bowl. I think they did like a 60-second one, and then you kind of had to go
Mhm.
watch the big, you know. but it might be the game pick the whole thing because I mean they got the money to do 2 minutes and 25 seconds. Um, but you know what surprised me? Timu, or I don't know if I'm saying it right. They have 4 commercials during during the Super Bowl. The company is basically their slogan is "Shop like a billionaire" because they sell a bunch of stuff and they direct ship it from these places where they make it, and boy do I want a business model like that because it does not seem like they've been on the scene for long, but boy are they winning. They are winning in a significant way, and we know them ads ain't cheap. They ran the same "Shot Like a Billionaire" ad 4 times. So I was just like, yeah, they doing something right over there. And I got to figure out more about this company. Karina told me something that was a little off-putting, but about child labor. But I'm a dig into Timu a little bit more just for my own interest. But yeah, it was a lot of cool stuff that was happening during the Super Bowl commercials for sure. All right, let's move on to the next thing. So I know neither I don't think neither one of y'all care, but Dead Island 2 it's finally got its Steam. And yeah, I've been waiting for this. I mean, I could have played it on console, it would have been straight, I guess, but I really wanted to play it on PC. So, yeah, it's finally got announced. This game originally came out back in, I think, April 21st of 2022. So it's taken them 2 years to get it to us. So 2 years from now, it's like the day after the 2-year mark. So I'm assuming that is what Epic told them. They said, hey, y'all want our money? It's 2-year exclusivity. Their 2-year exclusivity has come up, and now I should be able to play it. Yeah, in a couple of months. I think this is going to be the cadence for all of them, Josh. I ain't gonna hold you. I don't think Alan Wake 2 gonna come. I think that one was like one of those ones where they put too much money on it. But I think the ones that were exclusive to it, they might have 2-year windows, like that Kingdom Hearts, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So when did that Kingdom Hearts come
Hearts,
out?
I think Kingdom Hearts been longer. People are saying it has a different contract.
Oh, really? It's been more than 2 years. Interesting.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
it's been like 3.
Oh, wow. Well, I mean, it does not make me want to blad on there. So, I mean, it is what it is. They spend their money how they want to spend their money. They make money. They make a lot of money. So, if they want to spend their money on doing that, go ahead, bro.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna wait.
March 30th, 2021.
Yeah. Dang, that's been a while. Jeez. Okay. Okay. But outside of that, I just wanted to let y'all know it's coming out April 22nd on Steam. You can buy it from the best OS, not the worst. I not the OS. But the platform itself, I just can't get behind Epic's game store. Even though I figured out a way to. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say PC exclusives is the ones that make the least amount of sense because you're playing on the same system. It's just you can't buy it unless you're doing it on our platform. And at the end of the day, they losing out on sales because you want to keep it on your store. Because people are not gonna move over to the store just to buy it.
No, they're not. Just doesn't make sense. I think they lost the race to that. Obviously, they want to continue to build up upon that in a new generation, but I don't think nobody. And I think there is some truth to no one having like loyalty to like stores or video game consoles. Like I was listening to IGN's new next gen console watch, and they were talking to, I think Ryan McCaffrey was talking through why he thinks the Xbox thing will happen but he had a good. I felt like he had a good point anyway in regards to uh not having loyalty to like these console generations anymore, or maybe it was the other guy, maybe,
Mhm.
but not just having loyalty to console generations anymore. Like kids, our younger generations, they don't really care what they play on. They just care if they got Fortnite and like the games that they play. Like they don't care if they play on the phone. They don't care if they play on the Oculus Quest or Meta Quest. They don't care if they're playing on the PlayStation 5 or the Xbox Series X or Nintendo Switch. They just care if their games are running and optimized, or maybe optimized properly. So maybe not the Nintendo Switch, but they don't really care. So there's a lot of merit to how Xbox wants to present themselves in the future. If they just wants to continue to sell their console, but also provide the option for the games to be played anywhere, is kind of a ideal situation for them. So I do see some of that because in my even my little brother and my nephews and nieces, they could care less where they playing. They just want to have a certain thing, a certain software. So it's not like they like, oh, I'm dedicated to my Nintendo 64. Like we used to be kind of. It was two things. We couldn't afford to have more than one system, but it was more so also um we had some type of loyalty, or like our dad or our parents had some type of loyalty to one of them. And my my aunt had loyalty to PlayStation. That's how I first got introduced to PlayStation. She bought the PlayStation 1, and then she bought the PlayStation 1 Mini. She gave us the fat one, and then we bought the PlayStation 2 right after. But there was no real like option for the Xbox to ever be in existence because it was just like this is the person that introduced it to me, so I really didn't care. And then it was just like where can I play my game? So I do see some merit in just simply I can access games on my phone now. I don't need a console to really play Roblox. I can just get on my phone. I don't really need a console to play Fortnite. I can just get on my phone. So I don't think of it as this is a Xbox brand thing. This is just more so where can I play my game. So it makes
Mhm.
sense for them to want to be everywhere like Fortnite, you know? So
Mhm.
I thought he had a really good point in saying that. Do I agree with not having everything on everywhere? No. I think there's a good healthy balance of having some things stay exclusive to their console and some things go to everywhere, like massive multiplayer online games like a Halo. Unfortunately, the Halo brand has been um, impacted so much over the last years that honestly, it is okay for them to put that elsewhere to try to see if they can earn more money. I want them to keep making Halo games. I actually like Halo Infinite. I don't want that to die off because they don't want to put it on another console, you know. But at the same time, it is a loyal it is like an iconic thing to be with Xbox for this Halo. So I don't think they should start with Halo. But if they do, I wouldn't knock them. I think they have a big shooter right now that do they really want Halo to be competing with COD? Like, I wouldn't. I already own COD. Why the heck do I need to have another large shooter like that? I just don't need to. I can continue to create this for PC and Xbox, and keep Activision games multi-plat. I don't really need to do that because I'm so big and we make so much money. I think it'd be stupid to handicap ourselves for that. Uh, but yeah, let me get off my soapbox. But yeah, anything else on exclusivity, timed platform crap that we got to go through?
Um, no, I think like you said, the console loyalty is something that is kind of a thing of the past. Other than like having a Nintendo Switch, if you have any other system, you can play most games,
Yeah,
and a lot of the games are online anyway, so it's not even about the single player experiences anymore.
yeah,
It's where you access your online games.
yeah,
There is something to be said about brand strength because people, know PlayStation. Like PlayStation is a brand name. You can go to somebody grandma and say, PlayStation and she knows what it is. Like,
Yeah.
not necessarily everybody's grandma's gonna know what an Xbox is, but
Yeah.
the brand itself, there is strength to that, and having exclusivity does build that brand. But Xbox is in uh, a situation where they can't grow anymore with what they have. Like,
Yeah.
they've been saying Game Pass is successful, but it's not growing. Maybe they got 20 million, 30 million subscribers, but that number has been stagnant. And in order to grow it, to continuously be profitable, to continuously invest into the brand, they have to have growth. And Xbox consoles are at the same time not moving off shelves fast either. So there's nowhere else to go. They got all their games on xCloud, so you can play it on your phone. You
Yep.
can play the games on PC. You can play games on Xbox. You can play games on TV, on your TV if you got a Samsung TV or whatever. But they're not growing, and you're already spread out as far as you can be. So the only other customers left are PlayStation customers and Nintendo customers. So yeah, it makes sense where if you can't grow anymore, the only thing your business can do is to just reach out to more customers. I mean, otherwise, just take a hit on the profitability and invest in like franchises and stuff like that. But I don't think Microsoft as a company is is down for that. Like even the CEO of Microsoft said he doesn't like console exclusives. So if Xbox is going to be around and not get like downsized and people get layoffs, they have to put out games elsewhere. I don't know if that means everything. Like you said, I don't know if Halo should be on PlayStation, but right now they got to do what makes sense as far as like making money.
Yeah. So let's stay right there because I wanted to talk about the Microsoft thing anyway, and I kind of want to pose a question to you guys. Um, from what you know and what you've seen, even if you don't know everything, do you feel like Xbox has a chance to continue to grow the brand with the not the Activision, but Bethesda and Microsoft Studios developers? Like, do you feel like with those alone, they can start to build upon themselves to have the level of exclusivities, a level of exclusives that people will seek out? Or do y'all think they're on the cusp of something or no? And why?
Uh, So with the Bethesda and Activision stuff,
Nope, not Activision. Leave Activision out of it. Just Bethesda and their current Microsoft Studios, like the actual like Compulsion, um, Playground Games, like the Fable, like those, like literally just those. Not because I feel like Activision has to stay alone by itself right now because it just make too much money. I would not mess that up, so I wouldn't do anything different. I just own it. You know what I'm saying? So that I have to leverage over Sony to say, "Hey, play ball with me." That's all I care about getting Activision for. Just play ball with me. That's it. I don't really care about nothing else. Like they're so big that having that in your back pocket, that's all that matters. Like I can take COD from you. I mean, it's not like they have signed a contract now. It would be stupid for them to do that. But there is so much leverage in just owning that IP and everything that comes along under Activision. So, regardless of what, everyone thinks, they now have leverage. And that makes sense. But I just want to talk about Bethesda because I honestly feel like they weren't like the biggest pickup, but people love them, so fine. And then their current studios that they already had and working on games. Like, did you feel like that was on the the cusp of greatness or no?
um, I don't know if you want to take it first, Jalen, or not, but
And you can keep it high
I
level. You don't got a deep dive. I just want to like kind of get your perspective on the company brand itself, because
I mean,
just a pulse check.
I know we had talked about it just real quick. Was it last week? I mean, I don't really feel like they're on the cusp for nothing right now. I think they just trying to just fill things out, basically. If that's the simplest way to put it, I feel like that's it. I don't think it's a lot that's really going on. If that makes sense.
Mm, okay.
Yeah, I think that because when they got Bethesda, Microsoft was in the space where there were no games coming out for a long time, and the games that were coming out were like stuff of much smaller scope, like Ori in the Blind Forest. Like it's a
Yeah.
fun game, but it's a really really small game and really niche audience. Whereas if they had the Bethesda IPs, even though if these games don't appeal to everybody, they could double their output cadence where we have twice as many games coming out. Some of those games people love, like Doom. People love Doom. Like Doom maybe not as big as Halo, but it's a game that will get people interested. And when that game will drop, it will uh, it'll drum up excitement. People will talk about it. It'll be in the news. Stuff like that. So if they can have more games coming out, then that's an overall benefit from them. Now that being said, I don't think any particular Bethesda IP is gonna be anything to compete with a God of War, because in trying to play catch up with Sony, Sony had a regular cadence, like every 3 months we're gonna drop a big title,
Mm,
and Xbox didn't have anything to drop for every 3 months. So now they have something to put out, but those games are not the same caliber. Like Sony has, my bad. In order to explain it, while trying to catch up to Sony, Sony entered the next stage where now they got all-star teams. They got Last of Us teams that can put out, the best game you ever seen. They got the a Gorilla team. They put out Ghost of Tsushima and what was that? Horizon. Like every game that they're coming out is the most high tech, best looking game that you ever seen.
mm-hmm.
So now Xbox has to catch up to that. Now they have games coming out, but they're not cutting edge. Like they're good games, but they're not cutting edge. So no, I don't think Bethesda or ZeniMax or Arcane, they're not cutting edge studios. The only cutting edge studio out of Bethesda is id Software, and I don't know like if they can do it by themselves.
Yeah.
uh, you know,
I mean, Insomniac been doing it by themselves. Like, if they didn't have Insomniac, it would not be good over
well,
there
yeah,
at Sony right now.
Insomniac is doing overtime, but
Yeah,
God of War and Last of Us, they put up they carry their own weight, but
yeah,
like Bethesda has nothing of that same caliber.
yeah. And honestly, I think Sony owning them just gives them eh, um, access to resources. I don't know, whatever it is, but it's like a Sony effect. Where that, regardless of what it is, you can say these games are very similar or very strategic in what they choose to make. But they make sense and they always sell well. So that is like it's like a thing with them where they have the best A&R or uh I just think that they do a good job at it. Like so yeah, I mean my thoughts are pretty much, honestly, I felt like they were on to something. I felt like if they had one or two games that really, like, I think if Fable blew everybody out the water and that was a game that you really wanted to play, because I think it graphically and gameplay wise that could have been a caliber um of a God of War or something like that. I think that is the level of polish that we're looking for, and we're looking for that level of high budget greatness. And it doesn't have to be single player, but it also, those are the games that truly define why you own the Xbox. It's not the multiplayer, because honestly, multiplayer games can be played elsewhere, and multiplayer games do not provide the level of security that you're going to be getting something along this level of quality in the future. I just think gameplay in itself, I think that is where, and people can't really define it. I think I just figured out how to define it. These are experiences. Ghost of Tsushima was an experience to me. And I think they have no experiences. They just have games. And it's weird to say that. But I think that is the only way I can really define it. I like Last of Us, I remember it because it was an experience to go through. Ghost of Tsushima, I remember it because it was an experience to go through. I don't remember Gears because it was just a game. And it wasn't an experience to me. Gears 5 came decently close to a true experience, but at the same time, it just did not, make it across that. It's like this artificial threshold where it truly evolves from like game quality to movie quality, where you're just literally, I'm along for this experience, and this experience is exciting, and I just want to keep going. Um, so I don't know, but there's a lot to be said about an experience versus a game, and I hate to use that because I don't want to diminish people's work because they put a lot of effort into making those games feel like games, but at the same time, we all here for one thing. We here for that story. We here for those cutscenes. We here for that animation, and we looking for quality beyond. Like it's quality beyond belief. That is what I'm looking for when I play those games, and that's an experience for me. It's not even about the game no more. It's about the experience of just truly seeing these actors play their role so well to the point where I am transitioning to their world to experience what they're experiencing. And I just don't feel that way when I come play the games on Xbox. So, it's a little
Yeah, I
selfish,
think
but
that
you know,
no, I agree. So for a long time, I think a lot of people would dog on Sony games, even though that they were good, but they always say like, "Oh, this is just an Uncharted clone." This is, and Uncharted clone was a word that was used a lot for a long time, especially like when God of War came out and Last of Us and stuff,
yeah,
because they were moving away from focusing on the game play because the gameplay was soft. We're gonna take the Uncharted formula, put that in our new game, and add in a different story. And that
hmm
was a criticism for a long time, but I think it worked because the gameplay was good. Like it satisfied people's needs. Like the gun, I can shoot stuff, I can swing on a rope, I can climb. Like this
hmm
is the stuff that at the bones of it is what people like to do and have fun with, and we're gonna elevate the story. And I think that it works for Sony because now we can come to expect the story to continuously elevate every time that they drop a game. The
yeah,
gameplay is not necessarily bad, but the story is short. I mean, the game is short, the story is good, and the gameplay is good, and that's kind of what people have come to expect. And then if they can push the gameplay further, like Spider-Man, like oh now we got an open world game, and you can spend 50 hours in this game if you want to, but the story is still going to be that same caliber.
yes,
Whereas Xbox, they didn't have that opportunity to explore and push the story with a lot of games, except for like I guess Hellblade. But yeah, it takes a lot of money and experience in order to have good gameplay and a good story. Like I think for a lot of people, they focus just on having a good game, like Nintendo. They
hmm
don't care about the story. Their
no,
game is going to be good. The game is going to be amazing. The best, platform physics you ever seen.
seen, yeah,
But in order to reach that next level, you have to invest in that experience of it as well. And it's not for everybody. Like sometimes I'm not in the mood for experience games. Like I want to play Death Stranding, but I kind of don't want. I don't have time for an experience. I want to play
yeah,
a fun game, so I will.
yeah,
I'll pick up Helldivers before I pick up Death Stranding. But at the same time, there is still something unique about Death Stranding that you can't get anywhere else. Whereas, like, if you're tired of third-person shooters, then Helldivers is not going to do anything new for you. It's a third-person shooter that you played 1,000 times before, uh, but it's fresh and it's online. You play with your friends, so it's still fun. So
yeah.
it's hard to say which one is better, But as far as like, you can't deny that Sony has been growing in ways that Xbox has not been.
Oh yeah, I think that the sliders are all the way up on story, presentation. Gameplay is at a 6 or 5, and that's okay because that is what we come accustomed to. Like if I'm buying a Sony game, I know I'm getting some really high quality um uh experience. I'm getting a really high quality experience. If I'm playing Spider Man, I'm gonna get more. The gameplay is now at an 8, but that story and that world is still gonna be at a 10. It's just literally you gotta be accustomed to playing a shorter game, and people knock it for that, but I like my games to be short and sweet. I like my experiences to be memorable. Like I want to remember it. I don't want to be playing the game for too long that I don't remember what happened. And that's why I thought Starfield was a good game because I felt like I remember everything that happened and it was not as long as I expected it to be, but I remembered it. And it was at a to me it wasn't about the gameplay. It was about this little story that they had. Now, could they have done that a lot better? Yes, but I felt like it was enough for me to feel like excited to continue to play it. So it wasn't really, they didn't change or build a new thing. It was just more so I felt like they turned their aspirations to making a huge, insanely large world too far. I think they could have changed it a little bit to make, I think, that experience more of an experience. I think the
Yeah,
world
if they
itself was
go
the experience
smaller.
for a while
Hmm.
until the story was there, but the world itself too was like a large degree where you saw the money and the bulk of the money go to. So I don't know. I felt like there was a lot of um, flavor there that I enjoyed, and that's why I thought Starfield was a great game to me. Like everybody else can hate it, that's fine. That's my first Bethesda game where I would definitely easily still give it an 8 to 9 out of 10. So, um, but that's me. That ain't everybody. A lot of people hated it, so I get that. But yeah, you had a big point there too, Josh, when you talked about Nintendo. I think their sliders are all the way up on gameplay and polish and like presentation of that gameplay because they do not mess around when it comes to that. And I have never been like, yeah, I don't think it's worth it because sometimes I feel like graphically, if they're not pushing the envelope, I don't appreciate it. But gameplay wise, you can't deny that their games itself are 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 um they they experience, or the experience that they provide is much deeper and nuanced, and sometimes you even like finding other things and replaying the gameplay. It's like they live and love to make you replay their games, and they live for it. They do it all the time. Luigi Mansion 3, Super Mario Bros. Super Mario Wonder, 3D World. They do it so often and so well that you're like, oh, I want to play this mode. I want to play this one again to kind of unlock all the extra secrets that's in it and stuff like that. So it's just like a bunch of replayability on their gameplay, but it's polished too, and provides you a nice challenge. Even in the earlier ends, and then they always make sure that they have some type of multiplayer or local co-op component to it when it comes to like certain games, anyway. But yeah, I could talk about that for a long time. So, but I'm not because we got to keep going. Any final thoughts on Microsoft's state and why they why they're in third place? I think it's pretty obvious, but to me, I think they have a shot if they really stuck to their guns. I think with Fable around the corner, I think with Elder Scrolls around the corner, I think with them continuing to elevate their presentation and experiences like Hellblade, but more so getting to more things that are comfortable. I would say like I'll be putting so much time and effort, but like again, it's really understanding what type of games they make. Like um it's just so much. It's so much there that they could be doing um to really make them stand out. But I don't know, man. The almighty dollar be calling sometimes too.
Mhm.
So, but we'll
Yeah,
see.
one other thing I was wanting to say is I was watching Dis- Digital Foundry
Hmm.
talking about uh the Xbox situation, and they make a good point where a lot of the big changes come in between generations,
Hmm.
because that's when people, you get a new device, and it kind of was like a reset in a lot of ways for us, like both companies. But unless Xbox is in a situation where they're out before the PlayStation 6 and their device is unique enough where it can do things that the PlayStation 6 is not, it can't do. They're really in the uphill battle where it's not, uh, you're not going to see a big change fast. The reason that they were before ahead of the PlayStation 3 is because they had that advantage. They came
Hmm.
out first, and their device had good technology, and developers wanted to make games for it. Whereas now both consoles are pretty much the same. They do the exact same stuff, and they come out around the same time and the same price. So Sony's lead is just going to keep going because people are already invested in Sony. So unless you give people a reason to switch to Xbox, they're not going to switch. So that's why right now Microsoft is thinking about, let's just change our strategy completely, because this battle is like, they get 50 points ahead and it's going to take forever to catch up. It might be better to just play a different game completely. But
Absolutely. Absolutely. And like I said, I think that's the smart thing to do. I just want to see where it lands them when it comes to the community, um,
mm,
and their brand. Because, yeah, I think that it's a lot to be said about what holds a brand together. Um, and for Xbox, it's always been Gears, Halo, Forza.
mhm.
uh, and for that stuff to start to be distributed elsewhere, like, what does that mean for the brand of Xbox? It doesn't feel as strong as it even was now. It feels like it's more of a publisher, and maybe that's their in our ideas that's better. But we got to give them some time to talk and see what they're gonna say. But it'd be interesting to see what happens next. Um, I think my ideal situation is that Bethesda and Bethesda most of Bethesda and most of Activision stays, you know, um, multi-plat, and then Xbox Studios are still going to be exclusives with PC releases. I think that would be the ideal situation where I honestly I would respect them giving them Starfield and all that stuff because it's Bethesda. Like, you don't want to hurt their numbers because you're trying to, you know. But I understand how much Starfield maybe strengthened the Xbox brand. Might have been better if it was like well received all across the land. But I know that strengthened it last year for sure. So but okay, let's move on to Apex Legends. So they recently released their season. I think this is year 5 anniversary collection event. Um, Breakout in the new limited time mode, which we're gonna be trying here. I don't know when, but we're gonna be trying it shortly. Straight Shot. So Straight Shot is a brand new limited time mode. It has a few things that makes it a little bit more interesting. It's the basically classic battle royale, but with shorter stress and lengths. No more jump masters. So players will spawn above a random POI and drop in. Each POI will contain 2 teams. Choose to engage immediately, or you can rotate to play the end game. But basically, you're going to be in a tighter spot, and you're going to drop in with another team guaranteed every time. And at the start, the ring focuses the game on a smaller portion of the map, so you're not going to have a large map to run around to get to other fights either. So when you get there, it's going to actually be a lot more streamlined. Weapons will spawn kitted with at different rarities, streamlining the loot process. So you can find a blue rarity, a purple rarity, and then essentially you can you don't have to like loot for a attachment or a silencer or whatever the case may be now, because we haven't played in it so long. They might have changed that stuff. More drops, more fights, and more end rings in less times. You can focus more on your movement and shooting, getting more reps on the battle royale in less time, so you just become a little bit better at the game because you're just not focusing on all the process and components of the battle royale. Reduce the lobby size to 30 players, so it is less people. And you can requeue with your party directly from the dev screen, so you don't have to go back to the top and then jump back in. So I think it's an exciting change, especially this limited time mode. And I think with all the changes that are occurring, it's going to be a little bit more refreshing to play after a while. But we'll see how it goes. But I'm really excited about it, and I'm dragging my friends with me. I already told y'all that. So yeah, we're gonna be in there shortly or soon. I don't know when, but soon. But yeah, I mean, any thoughts on that Breakout? Any thoughts on Apex? Anything y'all saw that piqued y'all interest, or that game been dead to y'all for a long time? What's y'all I didn't want to ask y'all last time because I knew what y'all was gonna say, but I guess I'll give y'all a chance to talk this time.
No, I'll say I'm trying to be fair to it and give it a fair shape. So it's been a long time since I played Apex, and I'm not up on a lot of the changes. So when I play it, I'm hoping that it surprises me that something is new. Maybe it's a change that they did like 3 seasons ago, and it's a change that I like.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just waiting to see what it's like. But yeah, the changes seem interesting, at least because I was tired of the old battle royale formula for Apex. So hopefully Breakout at least gives it a different feel, and that it's not samey. Because Apex was always fun. It's just it always felt repetitive because we've been doing this for 4 years.
Yeah, agreed. What about you, Jalen?
I mean, I resonate with Josh. I mean, I give it a fair shot and stuff like that, but I mean, I'd be lying if I said I had like hopes and stuff of it.
Mm.
So I mean, we just play it and see how it is.
Yeah, that's all you can do. That's all you can do. Um, but yeah, I'm still looking forward to it. I think that a lot of the changes when it comes to the uh actual leveling up and Evo shields, I'm hoping to, lose a couple matches at first, but start to see the repetitiveness shake because we're now just focusing on winning fights and not doing all the loot stuff. Like I really want to get in for the straight shot so I can try it. I don't really want to play the regular mode right now. Like I said, I want to trim down the fat. I think that they have to understand everybody doesn't want to sit there and play a battle royale. But I love this gameplay. I love this systems. So I want to try it for sure. And arenas wasn't it. So hopefully this works. But okay, let's move on to Overwatch 2. Who wanted to talk about Overwatch 2 changes? Because I don't know.
So y'all haven't seen anything about the Overwatch 2 changes? Okay. So I'll say that season 9 is the new season, and the whole thing about season 9 is that they want to sort of reset people's opinions on Overwatch, so they're changing a whole lot of stuff. Um, so I'll start with the smallest thing, which is Battle Pass. It's an Eldritch themed Battle Pass, so Cthulhu and a bunch of octopus, squid monsters and stuff like that.
Mm.
Moira got the thing where she has a legendary or what is it, a mythic. She just kind of looked like a ghost lady in like a cloak, and you can change her face to like a skull face, or she has no
Oh,
face or whatever. So the battle pass seems all right if you're interested in that sort of like eldritch monster type look. For me, I don't personally care. I feel like this could have been saved for Halloween, but it's whatever. That being said, the first biggest change is with competitive. They're kind of redoing all of the competitive ranks, so everybody is getting a reset. So if you were, at the top rank right now, but they're going to reset you down to a low rank. But the climbing is going to be easier, and they're going to be more transparent with how the ranks do. So you'll
mm.
be able to see your progress bar after every match. It used to be you have to play a couple matches, and then it will update your ranking. But now it'll show you kind of like how Apex used to do it, where you will see your XP bar go up or down, and it will tell you last match you didn't get any kills, but you didn't die, so you're not gonna change. But oh, this match you got a bunch of kills, but you also died a lot, so that's why your rank is going down because you died a lot. So it will tell you a lot more. And they're introducing Jade weapons for the competitive uh reward. So instead of gold weapons, because gold weapons have been around for a long time, and people are, I guess, you got a bunch of gold weapons or you don't care anymore. Now they're switching it to Jade, and they said that every couple of seasons they're going to change the competitive reward, so it gives you an incentive to play. As for gameplay changes, they did a Pharah rework because they said they want to reduce the amount of Pharah Mercy combos, and just to give Pharah a bit of new life. They gave her an air dodge. So you could fly up like normal. You can do your boost to fly up super high. But now she has another button, which is an air dodge, that you can dash in any direction. Well, forward, back, left, or right in the air. So they want Farah to be more aggressive in the air and not sit back far away with Mercy. I personally don't see how it's going to reduce Mercy's help, because I think Mercy can just stick with her more now that she's faster in the air. But I don't know. According to Overwatch team numbers, it makes it a little harder for for Mercy to be with her, or whatever. Other than that, they've introduced passive healing to everybody. And they've also changed the health on a bunch of heroes. I think everybody got a health buff. So like somebody like a Tracer who's 150 health, I think she's now 175 or something like that. But all the characters got more health in the game. So that means what one hit shots like a Widowmaker are gonna be less effective. Um Hanzos are gonna be less effective, and stuff like that. If for like one hit kills. Um Passive healing, everybody's going to get a passive healing. So if you get shot and then you leave the battle and you're out of battle for like 5 seconds, it will automatically heal you over time. So that way you don't have to sit in a corner and wait for your healer to come help you. The healing will happen on its own. So with the health changes, like everybody getting more health and the passive healing, the battles are expected to be longer. I haven't personally played it to actually say that the battles feel longer, but that's the hope, that you're not getting just one hit killed or die super quickly to like a Junkrat. But do y'all have any feelings about what y'all heard so far?
Mm, the passive healing, of course, is an interesting change. I definitely want to try out everything. I think Farah seems interesting. Um, but I don't know. I mean, outside of that, I really, because I don't engage with the rank system. I don't engage with all of that stuff. But I do engage with the core gameplay of the game, and I think I want to see how this changes really shake up stuff. Because you know me, I'm very passive on the game. I mean, I'm indifferent. I don't want to say passive. I'm indifferent. I can play it, but I don't. I can't. I don't have to either. And most of the time, it's it's annoying because people are a lot more dedicated to the experience or the game, and I'm just not as much. So sometimes you're just getting clapped. That's there's nothing else
Yeah.
to say about it.
Well,
Just getting smoked.
I didn't want to go completely into like the numbers, but I do
Hmm.
got a little bit for like y'all specific characters. So one, everybody bullets are bigger. Like it's a funny like patch note, but all the bullets are bigger, so it'll be easier to hit people. Let's say it's a creek on the other side of the map. You feel like it's hard to hit her. Pretty
Hmm.
much everybody's bullets are getting a little bit bigger, so you're gonna be more consistent in your shots. Ash, she's got a health buff from 200. Now she's 250. And Bob get a little bit of buff to his damage. May, she's going from 250 to 300 health. Farah 250 to 200 to 250. Her rockets are bigger, but the explosions are a little bit smaller.
Hmm.
So like overall, they're trying to like push up. I don't know the time to kill.
Tempo.
I guess
Hmm.
the tempo, yeah, the tempo, and just like Diva's getting 75 more armor and 25 more health. So it's like, do y'all feel like these changes are needed? Do you feel like, well, I know you were saying that you know the snowball effect, or you getting wiped. Do you feel like this would help the stuff you don't like
Um,
about the
nah. Yeah, I think making it more. The only thing that would make me excited to play it is make it more lone wolf, and then that's just changing the definition of the game. So everything isn't for everyone. And if you try to make a game for everyone, then it's for technically no one at that point because who really wants to play a team-based shooter that supports lone wolf uh, tendencies? Nobody. That's why Call of Duty could never switch. So um, I don't want them to cater to make me happy because it's not gonna make nothing that they do is gonna make me happy. I think they need to cater to the people that truly invested time in the game and want that experience that they are traditionally or originally introduced them to. Like this is a team based shooter. Lean into that more, make it more team oriented because that is the value of the game. Like people buy the game for that reason. I don't think they buy it to be a lone wolf. Now they may be good enough to become that, but punish the people that do that. Because honestly, if you're not really helping your team and you're just getting a lot of kills, how are you really benefiting anybody? I understand getting a lot of kills, but you're not truly assisting the team. Punish those stupid healers for me. I don't care if you're like I said. I hate when people pop off and they feel like that is worthy of them to be able to do something else. Like no, your job is to heal. You're not being a team player to me. So fundamentally, this is a game about being team oriented. I have a problem with being that way because I don't like the teams I get sometimes. And if I'm not playing with y'all, I'm just not interested. So, um, blend into that more. I don't know if these changes actually do that. They make you can heal on your own, obviously slowing down, speeding up the ability to continue to be pushing yourself to be a try hard and go out in front of your team and not really stick with your team. Um, are not benefits to me. It just helps. It helps the people I don't like in the game. So,
game?
I mean, would you agree, Jalen, or what do you think?
No, I mean I agree. I mean, yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I just think there's plenty of things that is um important in those types of games. Like if you're trying to make that game, like I would never try to do that in like you know, there's there's a reason why I've always felt fun to play Destiny is because it was a game like Call of Duty. You know, I mean, you could stick with your team and be more effective, but you really could go off on your own. And they helped you do that with a lot of the classes and choosing your, choose your abilities. Like, if I want to be able to heal myself, or if I want to be doing like weird Axiom Bolt stuff, I'm getting a Warlock. I want Nova Bomb on people, I'm getting a Warlock. Like those types of mechanics made you feel super powerful, but imagine those being taken away and they ground boots on the ground type situation. Like, what the heck is Destiny then? So I think don't try to change the fundamentals of what the game is. I think there's tweaks to be made, but all these tweaks to me make it feel like you want to give people more survivability. You want to give people the ability to move on their own. So I don't know what that solves to me.
Mhm.
You know.
Yeah, now you bring it up, it definitely feels like a Destiny 1 or Destiny 2 situation where they had a formula that worked, but it had some issues. So in order to fix it, we gonna change everything, and we gonna reduce the number of players. We gonna reduce your super. Your grenade's not gonna be as useful, and all these type of changes where it didn't feel the same. Like I don't know if these changes are as significant, but now it feels like, and well, for the longest time, the biggest issue I've had with Overwatch is how they balance it. Where it's like I think they're looking at the top players, how players play, and so we're gonna change the game based on that. But the the after effects of that, of the players like me who are I think more like casual or not as good,
Yeah.
uh it means that everybody's got more health. That means, okay, good,
Yeah.
I can survive longer. But that also means it's a lot harder to kill people, or it's like it's gonna take more time to kill people. And
Yeah.
Overwatch is that type of game where it's like, I really need to kill this Genji right now, because if I don't kill him right now, he's gonna use his super and he's gonna wipe the whole team, because they're in a place where we got to finish this now. And if he's got 50 extra health, maybe that's an extra bullet or two. But like, yeah, that 1 second change is gonna be the difference between we win or they wipe our whole team. So
Or
I
they
don't know if
continue to
these.
get the point and they hold the point down a little longer. It's like I
Yeah.
like yeah, it's like it's some of those stuff, and I value being able to really come in at the 11th hour and save my team, but to what extent, that's really what it
Mhm.
is. So,
Yeah, so the whole point is I don't know if these changes are actually addressing a core issues, or are they just gonna, you know, the issues of the game are just gonna get bigger because now everybody's got more health and more damage. But we'll see. We'll have to actually try it out to see how it feels. But the changes just feel like very, I'd say, knee jerk to me, and not necessarily like nuance. Like, this is the best way that we should do this.
yeah. And I think the problem with Apex Legends is everybody wants Titanfall, and the people that want Titanfall ain't getting it, and they trying to make this game in Titanfall, and it's just not supposed to happen. So, a game for everyone again, it's for no one. So, just give me Titanfall, and I won't care about Apex, because honestly, I'm fine with the gameplay, but I prefer more fast-paced, arena-based shooters at times, and this is just ain't it, and it's never going to be that. And even with this new mode of me trying to minimize the downtime, it does give me the opportunity to play with the gameplay, but I want to grapple around. I want to get in the Titan. I want to do the things that I normally am comfortable with in this gameplay. So, I think that's a lesson all of gamers need to learn, man. Sometimes everything ain't for you. That's okay. I mean, it's not a problem. And I think a lot of developers, they like, okay, how can we refresh it? And then they end up losing the magic they had. Um, and it's so abundantly clear when like Overwatch came out and it was crazy good, and then now I look at it and it's kind of like, well, what happened? And I think it was just like, I'm trying to keep up with y'all. I'm trying to make the changes y'all want. What y'all want from me? I'm doing what y'all ask me. Like, nah, bro. Now you done messed up then. I wouldn't say stop listening to the community, but We didn't stop playing Destiny for no reason. I think it was just too different. But I think we all grow up and we all kind of start to experience these games differently anyway. I don't think it's uh was it attrition? Is that what it is? When you're kind of like no, I don't think that's it. I think it's just the repetitiveness of it, and you start to get tired out of doing the same thing over and over. So, you know. But okay. Anything else before we get up out of here? That's all I have for today.
No, we covered a lot today.
Yeah, for sure. Anything, Jalen, for the good of the people?
No, I ain't got that.
All right, man. Savor y'all time. Enjoy it. You know, these games are gonna be here. This backlog gonna keep getting busy. And always remember, these multiplayer games will poof and not exist anymore. So value those single player experiences. Value those experiences that we were talking about earlier. Value the time. I know that these multiplayer games will have you consumed and you just playing those constantly, but you know, give something else a shot. Give a different experience a shot. I mean, I never played Dredge, and I played it and I loved it. You know, it's just different types of games, different strokes for different folks. That's why he makes so many. Same thing with movies. So try something new. Get away from these multiplayer massive games. Sometimes they can be time sinks and they can be fun and engaging, but that the idea of them is to keep you playing them. So maybe their gameplay is lacking due to that. Just maybe, you know. So think about that when you play them. But that's pretty much it. I want to thank you guys for listening. As always, appreciate you. If you definitely got to this part, you're the real OG. If you listened to an hour and 41 minutes of us talk about nothing, I want to thank you. But yeah, we will see you all next week, per usual, with more topics, more things to discuss. Hopefully, Microsoft has told us they dropped the bombshell of what they want to do with themselves, and we have a lot to cover on that. But thanks for listening. Talk to y'all next time. Peace.